Today's the day. It's the 31st. Literally, it is the last day that we get to do this, and we're ready, just about. We gotta clean this whole garage because a lot's been done here over the course of, it's like this oil line. It now goes behind the engine, and if you look under the car, thanks, bro. I didn't need to talk or anything. And if you look under the car, no more scary hanging low oil lines. I got the super ghetto intercooler set up, but it'll work and it's ready to go.
But other than that, we got to put a bunch of fluids in it. We have one more tube to connect on the bottom side for the oil.
We got to upload the tune that I've been working on this afternoon. That should get the car started. And we got to calibrate the air fuel sensor. Yeah, air fuel
And
gauge.
that should be it. We're good to go. We officially do not have anything aside from lack of our skills that is going to prevent us from getting this thing to have its first start attempt this month. I'm gonna get right into wiring up this EDIS system, and JP should be back shortly with a few little goodies to see if we can mount it in there as well today. Another thing with the EDIS that we're going to have to address is this VR sensor right here. It needs to be damn near touching the teeth on this pulley, so it's a little bit far away right now, but a little bit of finagling is going to be able to get that a little bit closer. So a little bit of explanation on the EDIS and how it works. It has this little control module over here with a wiring harness that goes over to the coil pack over here. It's pretty simple. It looks a little crazy because I got everything typed off, but essentially there is the pip and the saw wire in here that run up to the ECU. Those need to be shielded, as well as the VR sensor positive and negative. Those also need to be shielded. So with that shielded wire that we got in today, I'm going to run this up to the ECU, this over to the VR sensor. There's a ground, a power, and then there are these three little wires, A, B, and C, and those essentially plus the power wire are the only things that go over to this coil pack. So depending on how you wire A, B, and C determines your firing order on the coil pack. There's a few forum threads online that explain a lot of this and how to get it to work best with EDIS 6. Specifically, there's one that's used in the Porsche 911, so I'm going to use that one. These should be all good. Those run over there. It sets the firing order for these. We hook these up to the appropriate spark plugs, and it should be good to go. It's not that crazy of a system. It just looks a little hectic when it's all spread out like this. But we'll get everything shielded and everything wrapped, get that in the car today, and we are so freaking close to being able to see if it works.
Alright, I just finished up the vacuum lines, which is literally just taking the MS2 vacuum line and connecting it to the throttle body. One of those vacuum lines gets spliced off of that and goes to the fuel pressure regulator. In addition to that, this mount ended up working up great. It's just bolted to the timing chain cover, so this is going to sit right there. And Devin's going to explain a little bit about how this worked out, right?
I already explained earlier how all the wiring is going to go. I've gone ahead and actually connected these wires over to the coil pack plug. This wire just needs to go to the 20 amp fuse that we have right there. This is way too long, but this is going to go to the VR sensor. This is going to go to the VR sensor that's right there. I'll just need to shorten it a little bit. And then these guys right here are the pip and saw, which are going to go to this other set of shielded wires, which is already running up into where the ECU is going to mount.
So that's how Megasquirt gets its signal. It picks up the signal from the toothed wheel, sends it to the, well, the VR picks that up, and the VR goes to those wires, and these wires go to Megasquirt, and the Megasquirt knows how to operate EDIS, basically.
Yep.
It's really just a 1 or 2 wire splice, and it's not a difficult install at all. What's difficult is just making sure that everything's neat and is where it needs to be, and shielding the wires properly so you don't get any interference with the low voltage signals.
Yep. So we'll hook this up and then it should be pretty much good to go. Alright, so we got our shielded wires all the way up here. Everything's set up in the back. The only thing is our wiring harness doesn't have a wire coming out of the saw pin. So we're going to have to take this wire and just solder it right into that pin, number 36, I believe. And then the blue wire coming out of here is our pip, and we'll just connect that to the black one. And we're all good to go as far as the EDIS setup goes.
What's up, guys? This is probably the same video. We're doing multiple days in one video updates now because it's easier for us to get things done, and tomorrow is the deadline. Question is whether or not we're going to be able to finish this. It looks like we have everything we need. We've addressed the oil lines under the car. We're going to get some that go around the back so they're not going to hang super low. A lot of you guys commented on that, and we agree they were too low. And if those got ripped off and we didn't notice, there goes a $20,000 engine build.
Yeah, we were figuring that, you know, we could do it with those for first start purposes, but this thing takes like 1,000,000 quarts of oil, and that would just be a huge hassle to put oil in it and then have to change the lines later. So we ordered those up and they should be here tomorrow.
And that's all we're waiting on. There's your Megasquirt 2. Everything in here is all set. We hooked up the clutch. The clutch works. Not really much else to see, so we're probably we'll be able to power on the car today and get all the settings and everything worked out, make sure nothing melts or burns down. And in addition to that, we got the world's chodiest intercooler, so this should, it's also much higher quality. Good job to the guys at, what is it, CXR Racing, I think it is?
I believe so.
This is just leagues above the other one, and they're still affordable. This was only like $100. So it's taller and it's
can go all sorts of places.
Yeah, we can probably use the same mount we made too.
Yeah, we'll need to re-drill holes because these are definitely closer, but we can just trim off the edges of that one and put some new holes in it, and that should be good to go.
So for this engine bay, unless you have one of those super tasty TurboCraft intercoolers, if you're on a budget, I suggest something like this. Obviously, one day we'd love to do the full bay intercooler, but for right now, Chodier is better, and we'll get that hooked up and piped up today and finish this wiring, and then tomorrow we'll put oil in it and turn the key and see if it goes boom or not. Hopefully it doesn't go boom.
Oops.
Okay, so Devin's working on this, which is just a huge mess. We're replacing this oil line, which goes to the world's craziest thermostat back there for the oil. And while he's doing that, you guys don't need to tell me how stupid and ghetto this looks, because believe me, I know, but we have one day left, and this is what we have to work with. So this is what I am working with. I did some aluminum bracket here. This is by far the most annoying intercooler that I've ever done, because it has to clear the deck lid, and it needs to be right there, and it's on top of the motor, which is interesting. And I don't have the ability to weld aluminum, so I have to like cut and use all this crappy Chinese rubber shit. And then over there, that's where all of our electronics are, so that's going to be awful to pipe up. Our turbo, actually, we can use it, but it's facing the wrong way. On a, what's it called? A Garrett turbo, the outlet is facing up, so it would just come up through there. On ours, it's facing down, so we need to do this ghetto-ass U-turn and come up to the... I'm out of breath from how frustrated I am with this, and this is taking me all day, but there's this, and then we plug everything in, and we're going to be up late tonight doing diagnostic crap, trying to get the computer to connect.
Pretty much everything's plugged in. Once he gets this up there, there's the air temp sensor that we need to install, and 2 ground cables that we need to connect, but other than that, wiring is 100% done.
Alright guys, the car is done, and for proof, look at that, day 31. It's not February yet. Devin's putting in the oil right now. As long as we didn't get the wiring wrong, and as long as we built the engine correctly, it should start. I mean, our goal was to complete the car and get it ready to start in 30 days or 31 days, whatever the hell many days are in January. And we got at least that far. I mean, if it doesn't start and we have to troubleshoot, that costs an additional day. I mean, it's your guys' call whether or not we completed the challenge or not. But
already making excuses.
Already making excuses. No matter what way you look at it, we got way farther than we would have if we didn't set the challenge for ourselves. And we are going to turn the key today, no matter what.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Stibbins under the car right now. The first thing that happened as soon as the fuel pump came on was a line that we had nothing to do with. We didn't touch it at all. Just kind of rusted away, and we need to replace this fuel line before this car will start.
Okay, hold on. Well, you can't entirely see the line, but you can see all of the gas dripping and all of the gas spraying out. But there is a transmission bolt up in there that gets really close to one of the hard lines, and there's a blatant rusted spot on the hard line where it's been tapping it for years, and apparently it has finally worn a hole through and it is spraying out. So we're gonna have to replace this hard line. Luckily it's not one that goes into the cabin itself. The coupler's right there, so gonna have to take care of that.
Okay, so unfortunately we have to order that line, and we didn't figure out that we had a gas leak until the cutoff time for next day shipping for Pelican. So it is going to be on Friday that we get that line and get another chance at starting this thing. Here's a quick overview of the motor. That's where we mounted EDIS, as you guys saw. And actually I don't need to do that because I'm pretty sure we filmed most of this. The spark plug wires are in. We put the battery in, and we tested for 12 volts at the Mega Squirt harness, and we have it. So as long as we can replace that that gas line, we should be good to go. It's filled with oil. It's got the proper amount of gas in it. Obviously these cars don't have coolant. It's got new gear oil. The gauges light up. Everything's plugged in and ready to go. So as long as nothing else happens, we'll be good to start. Alright guys, it's gonna wrap this one up. Sometimes shit that's not in your control happens. The good thing is at the time of filming this, we already fixed that gas line. So at this very moment, fuck you guy driving by. At this very moment we are going through the paces of what it takes to start this engine. So the next video, we should have that for you.
Yeah, sometimes shit happens, but setting deadlines definitely got us to get a lot more done than we were expecting on getting done. And we are just like right there, so hopefully we should have this thing started by the end of this week. Let's set another deadline so we keep working at it.
Technically the car's finished. Technically it was finished in 31 days. I'm not saying we hit the deadline because it didn't start. That's up for you guys to decide. Any way you want to look at it. Devin's going to go ahead and pick a winner for this video's giveaway. If you're unfamiliar with the channel, we give away products from BoostedShades.com every single video. Even if you guys don't win and you want to support us, please head over to BoostedShades.com and check out what we have to offer. Thank you to everyone who's ordered so far.
Alright, this video's winner is Zach Marangi.
Okay, so
hold on. Let me re-say that.
I always butcher last names, bro.
Alright, this video's winner is Zach Marangi.
Okay, Zach, you can hit us up at that's. It's not at all what you said the first time. You can hit us up
Actually, it's pretty damn close.
Yeah, you're
Marangi. Marangi.
No, you're right. It was close.
It's damn close.
All right, Zach, you can hit us up at Teamboosted at BoostedShades.com or through any of our social media platforms. We'll get back to you and ship you your prize. If you guys want to win, all you have to do is like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Sometimes we ask you guys things, but you don't need to answer them. Any comment is eligible. This week we want to know, what was your biggest letdown? What was the one where your dreams crushed the hardest right in front of your faces, like ours kind of were this time? We were being optimistic, but it really does suck. Comment a letdown story in the comment section, or any comment you want. You are eligible to win this video's giveaway.
As always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.